A little late than I usually do it. Let's call this the red light special because I didn't mean to uh, stream this late. But since we are doing it, let's do this. Uh, the topic is going to be AANHPI Heritage Month, Asian American Heritage Month, or the long form of is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Yes, they added more letters to it, but that's because they realized that they were doing these folks a bit of a disservice by lumping them all together in one thing, which is probably something they shouldn't. I think they should probably sell it. They should probably separate Native Hawaiian and Pacific Islander into a separate group. But since they're already lumped in, I guess that's not going to change. But the holiday started in 1992 under President Bush, not President Bush the Junior, W, but George H.W. Bush, the one who was in office for one term in the 90s and lost his reelection to Bill Clinton. Okay. Excuse me. So he was in office, I believe, from 1988 to 1992, lost the election to Clinton in 92, who then served from 92 to 96, and then from 96 to 2000. All right. So anyway, um, I know people think Republicans are the bad guys and racists and stuff, but George H.W. Bush started AANHPI Heritage Month, or Asian American Heritage Month as it was simply known then. And so this is all through the month of May, from May 1st to May 31st. And we're coming at the close of the month, so I would have been remiss to not, mention it. So, what's up, BCF? How are you? So, and I just want to say, because I know in this live stream, I'm going to get at least one person that says, well, hey, brother, why didn't you say anything about Black History Month? And my reply to that is, yes, I did do something. I did do a video talking about Black History Month. But at the time in February, my channel was much smaller, so I wasn't able to do vertical live streams at the time. My channel wasn't set up to do that until sometime in March, late March, early April was when I was able to do vertical live streams, and I've been doing them ever since. But my channel wasn't set up to do vertical live streams back in February, so I didn't do any. So, and so again, so this topic will be about uh, Asian American Heritage Month, and that's inclusive of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islanders. That would be that is what the topic will be about. People who are trolls are simply going to kicked out. I realize some of you are miserable assholes who've probably been kicked out of like at least 100 different channels already. So you come on to new channels thinking that people don't already know that you're losers. So you're gonna go. And what's up to my lovely Risa? How are you? So JAFD is our first contender to lose. And I'm not here to give psychological advice. So if that's what you're looking for, you need to seek professional help. If unless you're just trolling, in that case, I don't care. But if you actually have true issues, as this guy Bernard Optasio and this other guy JDA Boss 49ers, you guys can seek professional help. Most most healthcare covers therapy. I'm not here for that. I have a background in scientific psychology, but I purposely avoided taking the route of being a clinician because I'm not interested in dealing with other people's problems. Sorry. My day's gone pretty well so far. Didn't do that much. I was hoping to go to the gym earlier, but um, the friend I usually hit the gym with was out doing something, so he's probably going tonight. But I don't like going to the gym late at night. For one, there's no eye candy in the gym late at night, but also, eh, I just don't be I just don't like enjoy being out late anymore. I like being in the house after 8:30 9 o'clock. Diddy is back. What's up, Diddy? Um, e- Even if you're serious, Bernard, I'm not doubting whether you're serious or not, but this is not the platform. I'm not here to give professional help, and it would be being that I actually have a background in psychology and I do know helping skills. It would be wholly inappropriate to be trying to give you life advice over a live stream. So I would say to consult like actual help, like go to, you know, call and make a medical appointment so that your physician can get you a counselor. If that's your actual situation. If you don't have health, and for Jada Boss 49ers, if you don't have health care, then that's your first step. Get health care. I'm not here to take care of you guys' problems. We're here for this topic to talk about Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. About people celebrating, people who come from that ethnic and cultural background. That's what we're here to talk about. Nothing else. If Dwayne Johnson and Nick Cannon had a kid, be biologically impossible, but okay. J.S. Hasby, what's up? He says, "Hey brother, much love from South Africa. Thank you." No, I don't stare at girls' asses in the gym, but you're going to look at people in the gym. When you're in between sets, you look at people. That's what that's what natural people. That's what normal people do who are not socially awkward. I'm sorry, I'm not going to be sitting there staring into my phone for 2 hours straight because I'm scared to look around the gym. That's what normal people do. If you don't understand that, that's because you're probably some little Generation Z retard. Charles Trombley says no Diddy. Call on Jesus. Risa Chan says, "Does the stream have a topic, or are we just talking today?" I mean, we can just talk, but the focus of the topic is sort of like I wanted to talk about Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month because May is the month of Asian American Heritage Month, and we're closing into the end of the month this Friday, and I haven't talked about it at all or even mentioned it in any of my videos or previous live streams. So I just wanted to mention it, being I'm you know kind of immersed in Asian culture, date Asian women, so have Asian friends, so it just makes sense to talk about it. Davis says, "When the cops came, we slid inside a pyramid unseen like a true Egyptian king." Okay. Yeah, so it's not just Pacific Islander, all of them, Asian, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Like they lump them all together, Risa, but I know some Asians don't like that here in the US because for one, some of them don't even like being lumped together all as Asians. Because you got East Asians, South Asians, Central Asians, Middle Eastern folks. Then within East Asians, then you have the further divide, East Asians and Southeast Asians, and then between that, you just can keep you know the different nations. So it's a big cluster bomb. KD is gone. Not talking about politics, guys, so save that for another day. I'm thinking we will have a day where we'll just talk about politics. Just like I had a day when we talked just about religion. And then when I did it, a lot of people didn't even show up that were the ones who always want to talk about religious stuff. It seems a lot of people just want to talk about whatever they want to talk about when they pop up on the stream, and that's not how we're going to do this. We're going to talk about what I designed this topic to be about, and if you don't like that, then you can leave and find another channel. Simple as that. I'm not here to talk about politics, not here to talk about religion, not here to give you psychological help. First of all, if you're looking for psychological help, get the fuck off of social media, because social media is just making you more fucking crazy in the first place. Touch grass. Get offline. Stop asking a perfect stranger for help. You're fucking socially retarded for that shit. Um, he said I didn't say there was anything wrong with it to look at asses too. Yeah, but it's cringe. Like, you can look around at people, but not stare. It's a difference between looking around and staring. Like, if you're just staring, it's a bad look, right? Plus, we already know that some of these women come to the gyms thirst trapping, and they do it. Some of them do it because they are want to be gym influencers, and they set up these little stupid tripods in the middle of doing a set just to catch someone looking at them, so then they could post it on TikTok or Instagram and say, "Hey, look at these guys staring at my asses." So I'm going to look at people, but I don't stare at them. And women who come in there, like, luckily the gym I go to, I don't really see anyone really trying to, thirst trap or do that. I mean, I see women come in there in like sexy clothes sometimes, but to be honest, depending on some people, I won't even look at. Like, I'll just be honest. If they're like black women, I'm not even looking their way, to be honest. And the majority of them are overweight anyway when they hit the gym. So it's a select few that I actually look at. And even then, like I said, I don't stare. I give an appreciative look, and go about my business. Femto Bill, what's up? Thank you for hitting the likes, sir. Appreciate it. Anyone else, please hit the like button, um, subscribe. And I hate saying all this stuff, but I guess you have to when you're on YouTube. But yeah, please hit the like button, subscribe, hit the notification, share the video, stuff like that. It does actually help with the algorithm. I just hate asking that because it just seems so cheesy when people say that. BCF says I'm back. Okay. Riley Ilam says, "Yo, I'm from Australia. It's 12:25 p.m. What's up, Riley? What part of Australia? You're not the person I talked to a week ago that was from Perth, were you?" Risa says, "Gym influencer girls, you got a wedge, pull it out." Right, exactly. Like, they wear it. How is that even comfortable? Like, they come to the gym with their gym pants or gym shorts on so tight that it's wedged between their cheeks. Like, granted, I'm going to look, but it looks ridiculous. Like, it just looks ridiculous. Like, you can wear them tight fitting without it being a wedgie in your butt. Like, that just that just looks uncomfortable, and it makes me think you're not really in the gym to work out, because why would you want something so uncomfortable like that in the gym? I seen like women in Japanese gyms don't come there thirst trapping like that. CB said, "Can I get an autograph? I have all your albums." Okay. Big Berg said, "Roaches on the wall." No, that is a medicine bag. It's a uh, Native American medicine bag. That's not a roach. And if you think that's a roach, you need to check your prescription. And C Beach is gone from the channel. Told you, I'm not playing. So, guys, we're going to talk about Asian American Heritage Month. So, again, for folks who just jumped in the chat, this was a holiday started in 1992 by George H.W. Bush. So that's Bush Sr., not Bush Jr. He was the president from 88 to 92 who lost his reelection to Bill Clinton in 92. He was the vice president under Ronald Reagan in the 80s, and so sort of continued his more or less the Reagan administration, that sort of neoliberal sort of thing. Okay, but he established the month, and since then it's been extended not to just Asian Americans, but also to Native Hawaiians and Pacific Highlanders. It's usually filled with like things going on, like trying out new foods from the the Asian diaspora, or um, different cultural things. There's a lot of things you can do during in the month of May for AAPI month or AANHPI month. You can go take a few martial arts lessons, Asian martial arts. You can go try out some new Asian food. Um, you can make friends with some Asian folks who are within your social, who are maybe not within your social circle, but somewhere where you might meet people, like say in school or at work, stuff like that. Maybe you might want to date an Asian person. Travel to a country and to a Asian country if you have the means to do so. What else? Uh, uh, I think there's a music. I think the Smithsonian has a museum, an Asian American Cultural Center in D.C. I think it's in D.C. So that's something you can do. Domenico says good day from Perth, Australia. What's up, Domenico? Thanks for dropping in. Riley says nah. I'm from Brisbane. Okay, I'm sorry. It was someone a few weeks ago that was from Perth, but it wasn't Domenico. It was actually someone else. So sorry for confusing you with them. BCS is the opinion on the WWE. Topic for another day, my friend. Plus, that when you guys do ask me like my opinion or question on something, can you kind of streamline and make it more specific? I appreciate that. Domenico says it's natural to look, isn't it? Yeah, of course. Of course it's natural. Like if someone's near you, of course you're gonna look like when you're in between sets at a gym station. Like especially like most people come there with a buddy or two, and they work between sets, right? So when you're in between your set and the other person is doing theirs, you're just standing there. I mean, you could. I mean, sometimes I look up at the TVs as well, but you're naturally just gonna look around the gym. That's just that's a normal thing to do. Reese said, Reese said, "Why are you looking at my butt? Why is it out there like that? Like I just want to walk 5 miles per hour in the treadmill." And they be doing that too. Oh, that kills me. Like when I'm overseas, like when I was at my condo in the Philippines, and it's just a small gym within the condo. That was before we had the gym in the mall, because the condo was actually connected to a mall, which was dope. But before then, we just had the gym in the condo, and so it's very limited um, equipment. And you'll have some of these girls get on there just getting on the treadmill just so they can have their phone up, showing everyone that they're working out. I'm like, oh, God. I'm like, can you get off the treadmill so I can actually do my real exercises? Tell me you don't do that, Risa. Like, yo, just get on there and just walk while there's someone sitting there waiting. Like, man, I'm trying to get my run in. Reese says my family donates to the Japanese Cultural Center in Chicago every May. That's cool. That's what's up. Is it a cultural center like that was like constructed in respect to the Japanese internment? Is that what that's about? A shaken bottle said, "What's the big Chinese festivals?" I don't think there's any in May. Not this year, as far as I know. But there's always stuff to do, and like depending on what part of the U.S. the people are from, there's still a lot of people who haven't tried a lot of Asian stuff that people on the left coast and on the right coast have tried. Like, if you lived in places like LA, New York City, Chicago, DC, you're probably familiar with basic things like drinking boba, bubble tea, boba, or, maybe getting stuff like getting some Thai food or going to the local um, the local pho restaurant to get some get some Vietnamese noodles, the pho soup. Um, that's things that a lot of us on the whether on the East Coast or in the West Coast like Seattle, LA, San Francisco often do, but people like in Middle America or in the flyover states or deep South may not be familiar with those sorts of things. So it'd be a great time in May during this Asian Heritage Month to actually go out and try those new foods. Or say you're someone who always gets Chinese takeout, instead of getting your favorite your normal stuff like your China, instead of always just getting shrimp fried rice or General Tso chicken, which General Tso chicken is delicious. That is actually my favorite food because people have asked me. But instead of getting those, reach down onto the menu and get some of those stuff you've never heard of before. Get some of that stuff like get some of that stuff that's listed under Szechuan or Hunan. Get some of those things. Go try an Indian restaurant. Get some stuff. You know, and there's foods out there that some people like. I've tried Nepalese food, which is delicious. Um, you might find a place that might serve like Cambodian or Lao food, uh, Indonesian food, Malaysian, uh, Mongolian, all sorts of stuff. Like it's a lot of. So that's like one of the easiest way to celebrate is like going out and trying some new sort of Asian food. Putting some people in timeout. Brandon Gonzalez says hi. It's me again. What's up, Brandon? Risa said the Japanese Cultural Center was made in both respect for the Japanese in America and to teach others about the Japanese culture and language. My mom wanted to sign me up for classes, but I was too young. Wait, sign you up for classes? But you're already fluent in Japanese and can write kanji and stuff, right? Brandon says no time long time no see contrarian. Yeah. Risa says it was nice to stop by. Might be back later, but I have to leave to prepare lunch. It's my turn to cook today. Okay, save some for me. I appreciate you jumping on and hit um, hit me up on the Instagram. Let's connect more because I want to try to find out when you'll be free when I go back over to Japan. Skooma says people love to clown diversity until dinner time arrives. Right. I mean, some of this food is delicious. Like I said, I've tried Nepalese food, and this is in Baltimore. Baltimore's not really one of the most diverse places. Like sure, DC, like it would make sense, like going to DC, but I found a lot of different Asian foods and just in the Baltimore area, like Nepalese, Thai, Vietnamese, Japanese, of course, Chinese. Um, Baltimore used to have a Chinese town back in the day, and I think it's still marked on the streets where that little region used to be. But most most of well, I won't say most. I think Baltimore Chinatown kind of just disintegrated once most of those folks moved, into the suburbs and stuff like that. Same thing with DC. Like DC still, there's still a big sign up that says Chinatown and DC, but it's no longer really Chinatown. So as far as I know, someone can tell me if someone knows something different. Tell me. But as far as I know, other than there's still that huge sign that says Chinatown or downtown DC, there's no Chinatown anymore. It hasn't been like a Chinatown in DC since like the 90s. So that's usually the area where people go down, where it used to be like all the nice nightclubs that back in the day. Brandon says, "Why didn't a skeleton climb a mountain? He didn't have the guts." So yeah, so what? So have any of you guys done any things regarding Asian American Heritage Month? Like I said, another thing, guys, you guys can do is get some martial arts lessons. Most martial arts schools today will do like free introductory classes, so you don't even have to come out of your pocket to do it. Like a lot of these places, and I'm not talking about MMA. Where I'm talking about like traditional Asian martial arts. Joshua, you're gone. You get off my fucking channel. So anyway, yeah, a lot of these places, will give introductory classes just like the MMA classes. The MMA gyms do. Like you might get like one or two. Like it depends. They might give like one introductory class for free, or two, or even a whole week of introductory classes, depending on the particular school. But you can go learn like a traditional Asian art like karate, taekwondo, wushu, Shaolin. Uh, depending on where you go, it can get really diverse. Maybe Filipino martial arts, Silat, um, anything that's not Western. Yeah, that's why I was bringing up school because a lot of people didn't even realize it was that month, including myself. I'm not going to pretend I was that knowledgeable of it because I start after February. All everything starts getting kind of squished together because right after February, which is Black History Month, then you have like Women's History Month, um, and they're not even a minority, but that's a topic for another day. Then April, I think I forget which one is April, and then May is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander month, and then June I think is Pride month. Yeah, I don't celebrate that one, but nothing against those folks. Nothing against those folks. But that's not something I celebrate because kind of you celebrate it, you might be lumped into being one of them, and I'm not one of the LGHD people, so I don't do the Pride Month thing in June. I think that's June. Again, I don't remember. And I know like Native American Indigenous Month, I think is November. So there's so many of these heritage things that it's hard to keep focused. I think April was Latino Heritage Month. Someone can correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, like Brandon, like it goes without saying. It's like people jump in just to be trolls for no reason, and I think that's because they've already been banned from most of the major other YouTube channels. So they try to find new YouTube channels that haven't already banned them and go there because they have psychological issues. Uh, and Shaking Bob said, "Yeah, same. I had no idea. Yeah, that's what I'm telling people. Like since we got like what 3 more days of May, perfect time to go out and, like I said, you can go get a free martial arts lesson at a local, like a local karate or taekwondo or kung fu school, or maybe go out go out and try some bubble tea, because bubble tea is delicious, by the way. And they have both, like bubble tea and like bubble tea smoothies, or just get some Asian food. Some of you, a lot of us have food apps, so you don't even have to go out and look. Like you could just type into like Grubhub or DoorDash Asian food, and then you'll get like a listing of a whole bunch of stuff. So that might be the easiest way to do it. Just go right into your food app like Grubhub, DoorDash, Uber Eats, look up whatever's close, and you know do that. All right, Brandon. Nice for you popping back up, my friend. Come back again soon. James Bond said Kendrick or Drake. I don't really have anything to do with what we're talking about, but probably not gonna stay on for long, guys, because it's already late. I just wanted to do this little late night special just to be able to, you know, touch base with everyone on the daily. I'm trying to think if I've actually done anything for Asian American Heritage Month. I mean, besides, actually being in a relationship with an Asian woman and having a home in Southeast Asia. Uh, well, I, practice my martial arts, which are mostly East Asian, mostly, and have friends that I reach out to both overseas and here in the U.S. Mike is gone. Skooma says they told me Chinese restaurants water down their menu. So what it is like, so you have Chinese takeout, which is not Chinese food. It's Americanized Chinese food for American consumers. They're two different things, really. But a lot of these Chinese takeouts do have authentic Chinese food on the menu. But usually that's not what Chinese. Usually that's not what American people order. Like most American customers come in and order the Americanized food, the shrimp fried rice, the orange chicken, the General Tso chicken, the chicken chow mein. um, and then, in Philly and Baltimore, there's a specific dish that's only served here for American customers, um, which is like a type of thick noodle drenched in like some sort of soy sauce base um, dressing, and usually with like pork or chicken. I've I think I've had it once just to try it out, but it's not delicious at all. But yeah, a lot of Chinese takeout is Americanized Americanized Chinese food, and there was two reasons for that. One is when um, uh, immigrants from China first came here, a lot of them didn't have the access to the ingredients they needed to make authentic Chinese food that they would wherever they're from. And there's many different regions of China that have different types of food, like Szechuan, Hunan, Cantonese, um, in Inner Mongolia, and a bunch of other places. But they a lot of the times they didn't have access, so they would use American ingredients that were similar to those things. And also they realized once they started, making food for American customers, they had to make it to the liking of the American palate, which is different from the Chinese palate, right? So that's where the difference in between Chinese takeout and authentic Chinese food. That's why like it would be kind of incorrect to say you're eating Chinese food when you go to get Chinese takeout. But it's not that it's watered down, it's just they're two different things completely almost. Don Faley says get your mood pass. I don't know what that is. John Triglyph says hi, how's it going tonight? I'm doing well, John. Thank you. Thank you for dropping by. Richard Rose says Mavs the Celtics. I don't watch sports, so I wouldn't know. I haven't watched NBA since Jordan retired. Oh no, that's not true. I've uh, I haven't watched since Kobe retired. And the only time I will watch games though is I will watch a game with some friends, and we will bet on the games. That's the only reason I will watch, because he would bet me on the game, and he would just bet me out of boredom. because I had no interest in the games whatsoever. But I love Kobe. I think we were the same age before he passed. So I don't know who plays on the Mavs or the Celtics. So I wouldn't have I couldn't choose to be honest. You asked me my favorite like MMA fighter or Muay Thai boxer, then I can help you. Skooma says, that makes sense. I know us Americans can't handle truly exotic food, squid, ill. No, there's a lot of people who out there who can like, they call themselves foodies, like people who like to eat exotic foods, or sometimes foodies eat stuff that people have been eating for a long time. It's just that they've tried it. That's why people used to make fun of foodies, especially like 10 years ago when you had all these white suburban people talking about kale like it was something brand new when like black people have been eating kale for like the last 200 years, and all these little food hipsters or foodies were like talking about how great kale was. And like, yeah, we know that we've been eating this as soul food for like a long time. But no, there's definitely people out here who eat exotic foods. And then right now the hot thing is fusion food, where you take foods from two different cultures and you combine it, like mixing like like a popular fusion is Mexican and Korean fusion. With Mexican and Korean fusion you get like Korean tacos, stuff like that, which is kind of cool. Charles Tromley says RIP Kobe. Yes sir. And his daughter. um yeah, so that, like I said, it'll be a great time, within these last couple of days, if people have, the financial means. Try, maybe try some new Asian food as part of celebrating the Asian American Heritage Month. Like I said, if anyone has like Uber Eats or DoorDash or Grubhub, I'm sure um, you can just type Asian food into the search box and you'll get a whole bunch of listings. There's a one food app that's strictly for Asian food. I can't remember the name of it because I had it on my phone. And it not only had like Asian restaurants, it actually had Asian grocery stores that you can buy, like your own food from, which is originally why I downloaded it, but I never used the app, so I ended up deleting it off my phone. But if you go into like your Google Play Store or your Apple Store, whichever type of phone you use, you can type in like Asian food app and it should pop up. I just don't remember the name of it. And what it does is you can actually select foods from different types of cultures. So say you just want Chinese, it'll bring up a listing of restaurants and groceries to sell specifically Chinese type foods. Ditto for like Vietnamese, Lao, Thai, Indonesian, um, all that sort of stuff. It's a pretty good app for that. G GJC said Viet food is fire. Yes sir. They say I go. I think I went to a pho place just not this month. I went to a pho place last month. And also for people who do go to the Vietnamese pho noodle restaurants, you don't just have to order the pho. Like there's a bunch of stuff on the menu that's really good. If you're a big coffee drinker like myself, try the Vietnamese coffee. Very good, very tasty. It's strong, but it's like sweet, so it's pretty good. Meatball, we don't care about your orientation here, buddy. The topic is Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. We're not talking about sexual orientation, so whatever that is, um, that's on you. Oh, so you already know GJC. Yeah, Viet coffee is amazing. Like the first time I had it, I mean the food was good too, but I told the guy, um, the server, and I think, well, I thought he was the server, but I think he might have been. maybe one of the people who actually managed the restaurant. I was like, the food is good, but I was like, this coffee is delicious. And he smiled. He's like, thank you. I was like, oh yes, sir. No, it's no issue, meatball. I was just saying we're not. I'm not discriminating against people based on their sexual orientation, but that's not what the topic is. We're just simply talking about May being the month of Asian American Heritage Month, or AANHPI, Asian American Native Hawaiian Pacific Islander. Or like I said, for some of you guys who are more athletically inclined, like I said, if you want to go check out, get some free, go get a free introductory lesson at a martial arts school nearby where you live, that would be great too. Yes, we do include India. Yep. Like I said, Asia, that's like I said, that's sort of the ongoing discussion within the Asian diaspora is who counts as what, because a lot of Indians, or not just Indians, but anyone of the Desi background, so not just Indian, but also including Pakistani and Sri Lankan and other folks, including some Afghanis, all are consider themselves Desi, and yeah, they would be considered Asian. I remember one of my closest friends in high school. He's Indian, and he used to talk stuff about East Asians, and I was like, but dude, I was like, the school counts you as Asian too. He's like, man, yeah, I know. He said, but we don't consider ourselves Asian. We consider ourselves Indian. I was like, oh, okay, I get it. So yeah, sometimes they don't consider themselves Asian, but as part of that Heritage Month, they are lumped in with that. I think the census might start changing that, where they are more, they separate those, because that's now why we also include Native Hawaiians that are lumping them in with Pacific Islander. They want their own designation. Yep, Bengali, Pakistani, exactly. All of those are considered Desi, right? Or since they were all part of the East Indian Empire at one point. Um, but yeah, so yeah, they're all lumped into that. So like I said, try some Indian food too, like some chutney. Someone was asking me, actually, like, not yesterday. It might have been yesterday or 2 days ago. Do I like chicken curry? And I was like, what type of chicken? Because he was like, well, first he just said curry, and I was like, yeah, like curry, but what kind are you talking about? I said, there's literally thousands of curries. I said, are we talking about Chinese curry, Japanese curry, Korean curry, Indian curry, and are we talking about East Indian or West Indian curry, African curry? Like, I was like, that's a very large term. And he was saying chicken curry. I was like, well, again, West, East Indian, like, what are we talking about? So, and point of fact, Indians don't call it curry over there. They consider that just like a sauce or gravy they put on the food. So literally, it's like literally like 100 different types of sauces or gravies that might be considered curry over here, but they don't themselves call it curry. That's a Western term that we use to call it. J.A.C says Thai curry is best curry though. Um, I don't know. I just know the curry that like my friends have prepared, like my friends' parents have made, that I've tried, which was delicious. They were East Indian. I think his parents were originally from, I can't remember. They were either originally from New Delhi or Mumbai. I can't remember which. I'll have to ask them. But you know, it was like the type of curry that most people think of when they think of Indian curry. Um, and then I've had other types of Indian curry when I went to a restaurant. I've had Thai curry, of course. Thai curry might be the spiciest. If when you're thinking the best, maybe you're thinking Thai curry is maybe the spiciest, maybe. And I know my wife doesn't like she doesn't like really spicy stuff like that. Filipinos aren't really into like spicy food. Tina says hello. What's up, Tina? But yeah, so we're definitely including all the people from the subcontinent. the Indian subcontinent. I didn't mean to make you hungry. I just eaten. That's why I'm fine. I just had some leftover Memorial Day food, pork chop and Italian sausage and stuff. But yeah, so I'm cool for right now. I appreciate that, Tina. Thank you. But yeah, no, there was no tofu for me on Memorial Day. I needed red meat. No Diddy. But yeah. Plus, I work it off. Like, when I work out, I'm burning like 1,000 calories every time I run. Um, so I run 10K every day. That's burning like 1,000 calories right there, and it gets me my 10,000 steps. So it's sort of it's sort of like a physical fitness cheat sheet. Like you run 10K, you get your 10,000 steps in, and you burn 1,000 calories. So that pretty much lets you eat whatever you want for the rest of the day, and you already gotten your 10,000 steps in. Uh, GJC says, "Man, hungry now. Getting chili chicken tomorrow. Chili. That sounds good." Tina says, "You're the first real person that responded to me in a stream." I mean, most people should. I mean, I guess because maybe you were in like streams where it was like a super chat, and a lot of times if you're in a super chat, those people aren't going to respond unless you drop money in the super chat. This is just a vertical live stream. I'm not monetized yet to do super chats. I am very close since I've already hit my 1,000 subs last week. And once I have enough watchable hours, I will be eligible to be monetized, and I'm gonna start doing super chats. But that doesn't mean I'm gonna start ignoring people. I won't ignore people. GJC is not a tofu fan. It it grows on you. Honestly, it depends on how it's made and what it's served with. Like I wasn't into tofu until like college. Like when I was in college, I briefly was a vegan for like a year. I was like a vegetarian for 2 years, but I was like a vegan within that 2 years for 1 year of that 2 years of being a vegetarian. And so I tried tofu. There's some types that are really good. Like there was this Chinese food place near my campus that knew how to texture the tofu to make it like actual meat. And not only that, they would like deep fry it and batter with like with batter like it was like chicken. So they used to have a vegetarian General Tso dish at this place called Seven Seas Restaurant in College Park, Maryland, and it was pretty good. Or I've had like some texturized tofu for like that I made for like spaghetti and tacos, and just to make sure I wasn't tripping, I gave it to one of my other like big meat eating friends, and I was like, "Try this." He's like, "It's all right." I said, "You think so?" He's like, "Yeah." I was like, "That's vegetarian." He's like, "Stop playing." I was like, that's vegetarian." He's like, "Oh shit." So you can find some good textured protein or tofu that will be good for even someone who's like an avid meat eater like myself. Like I said, I'm an avid meat eater. Like my father, all the guys on my father's side of the family are hunters. Like he, literally shoots stuff like deer, bear, uh, wild turkey, wild goose, rabbit, all that stuff, and squirrel. And he used to try to trick me and my sisters into eating that stuff when we were little. GJ says most streams are potheads or gamers. This is a proper chat. Thank you. Well, I know, especially like on Twitch or TikTok, a lot of those guys are like gamers and potheads. But I'm older, so I'm out of that phase. I haven't o- I haven't owned a gaming console since I was 13. Not because I didn't like video games, but I just wasn't into like collecting video games anymore. So I would just play them at friends' houses. And pot, like that was something I tried, briefly in high school and briefly again in college, but wasn't really my thing. Like I like being sober, and so I've been uh, pretty clean cut ever since undergrad. Like I don't drink, don't smoke, anything. I don't even have tattoos, and most veterans have most veterans have a ton of tattoos. I don't. Dorian is good though. Ever tried it? No. Wait, I'm trying to think if when I was in the Philippines. No, no, it wasn't Dorian that I tried. It was something else. It was there's a fruit in the Philippines. I forgot what it's called. If Mrs. Contrarian was in the chat, she could tell me, but she's busy right now. But there's a fruit that's similar to like kiwi over there. It's not durian. I don't think I've had it. I've heard that durian smells pretty badly. But no, I haven't tried it. That might be something to try. That might be something to try for Asian American Heritage Month because there's a H Mart right down the street from me, and then on the other side, this is in on Route 40. This again, this is in Baltimore. So Route 40 going into Howard County, going towards Columbia. Then the other way is going towards Baltimore City. There's another like uh, Asian supermarket, but the one on the other side of Route 40 is a Chinese owned um, supermarket. But you know, H Mart is like a Korean franchise. You should try during live on the stream. Uh, I don't know about that. That's a possibility. I mean, especially if it stinks. I don't know. I don't want to smelling up my little man cave here. um, I'm gonna ask the wife more about it. GGC's dude, I'm from Canada. I don't know the streets. Oh no, well some of the people who view like one of my friends always watches the live stream, so knows what I'm talking about. We live more or less in the same area, so he probably knows what the areas I'm talking about. And some of the other folks who watch sometimes are locals, or you know when I once I upload this on my channel, I get a bunch of people who may watch it. But um, for people who live on the East Coast, they probably familiar with that interstate Route 40. Um, Jackfruit looks similar on the outside. Yeah. Actually, let me look up something on my other phone. So I'm trying to remember. So is jackfruit and durian the same thing? Because I always get them confused. Um, it's part of the mulberry family. I didn't know that. Not the same. Oh yeah, I'm reading the same. There's a jackfruits have a bumpy and almost scaly outer shell, whereas durians are covered in needle-like spikes. Unripe jackfruit can be used as a meat substitute, while durian cannot. Jackfruit is, excuse me, jackfruit is a common staple for those within the vegan and vegetarian communities thanks to its pork-like texture. I wouldn't want a fruit that resembles pork though. That I don't know. These are the other similar spiky on the outside. So maybe it was durian that I ate. I don't know because I've heard durian saying so. I probably didn't. And I've heard that there's been many Asians who have been like um, made fun of because they've brought like a meal with durian to like a to like school lunch or something, and it instantly ostracized them from everyone else. Yeah, I haven't had it because they said it's known as the stinkiest fruit in the world. It smells has been compared to garbage, raw sewage, and sweaty socks. Ew. Yeah, I haven't had that. I don't know if I'm up to that challenge for the live stream. Maybe. Um, if I put it this way, if people want to see me do those sorts of things, either they can donate to the Cash App and I'll do it, or once I get monetized, then I'll do it. Like I'll do it like on a like a super chat or something like that, or or I'll do it on a pre-recorded video that's sponsored, something like that. Cause I'm always down for that. And once I get monetized, I hope I do get some sponsors. Like, I would love to get sponsored by Blue Chew. I already told my wife we need to do a commercial if I get monetized for Blue Chew, because I can already think like of at least a dozen different funny things to do with black guy, Asian woman, with the guy taking a Blue Chew supplement. But yeah, I'll take on stuff like that if people want to donate to the Cash App or the Venmo or buy me a coffee. I'll take requests, or I'll do it once I'm monetized and I can do it during a super chat live stream. But I've had other people make suggestions too, and I was like, yeah, just donate to the Cash App and I'll do it. Like, some guy said he wanted to see how many push-ups I can do. Another one said do as many pull-ups as I can handle. Someone else said, show me some 1-2 combos. And I do still actually have a Muay Thai workout video that I plan on releasing. I just need to find the right way to set that up. Skooma says it's stinky on the outside, sweet on the inside. There's some wisdom in Dorian I'm too dumb to think of. Um, Sounds sexual, but I'm in Maryland, J.A.C, like an hour outside of DC. Oh, was I Army? Yeah. So I just did a long live stream last night, where we basically did a commemoration of all of fallen heroes, um, from Memorial Day, and talking about Memorial Day celebrations, like barbecues and picnics, and maybe you know visiting folks. And I was telling people, if you know a veteran, maybe you should reach out to them on Memorial Day, because that is a day where some some people, some veterans, especially combat veterans, might be actually pretty depressed, because it reminds them of people whom they lost. So I said, reach out to your fellow veteran on Memorial Day. But yeah, I was prior service Army. But well, back to the subject anyway. So yeah, guys. So GJC gave us some ideas. He said, for some of you more adventurous, you might want to try jackfruit or durian. They're two different fruits. They have a roughly similar appearance, but I think durian is more spiky, and durian is known to be kind of smelly. So warning you guys, it's known to be pretty smelly, but apparently the flesh of the fruit is very tasty. Whereas jackfruit, which is also pretty popular, can be used as a substitute for meat in some dishes for people who are more inclined to be vegetarian. Personally, I don't like meat substitutes now that I'm no longer a vegetarian. If if there's a meat substitute, I'd rather just have the meat. No diddy. Also, um, not only do I hate meat substitutes, I hate substitutes for like I hate I hate red meat substitutes. Like, I hate when people substitute turkey for like beef or pork. It's like, no, give me the pork bacon. No, give me the beef burger. Sometimes that offends people. I went to a Muslim-owned deli, and I didn't offend the owner. I offended this black American girl working there when I was asking for a sandwich, um, and I said, can I add bacon to it? And she was like, yeah, we have turkey bacon. I was like, no, I want real bacon. And she gave me this look. And I was like, sorry, pork bacon is delicious. Like turkey bacon is the dumbest crap I ever heard. I hate turkey substitute anything. I hate turkey bologna, turkey burgers, turkey bacon, turkey hot dogs. Like, just give me the real thing. Besides that, lean beef can be healthier than turkey. I hope you guys are still there. I can't see if maybe I lost some folks because I can't see the number above. It usually shows me the number, which means uh, it means either I lost the connection or that I just can't see the comments. GJC says every Canadian store and restaurant has halal. Yeah, I like halal. There was some weirdo on the in the live stream last week who said, so he was mad for some reason because he was talking some like pro black issues which had nothing to do with the topic of the live stream. And I was like, that's all good, brother. I said, but I don't entertain those sort of views. And so he started saying all this weird stuff like, so you must be in favor of Christian, Jewish, and Muslim people. I was like, well, yeah, of course I am. Why wouldn't I be? And then he said, I bet you also like kosher and halal foods. I'm like, yeah, what's wrong with that? Like, this guy was really weird. Like, I think he spent too much time listening to Dr. Umar Jackson. I mean, Dr. Umar Johnson, or like, burning incense and eating bean pies and pork chop sandwiches. Colin says, "What's up? What's up, Colin?" But yeah, I don't think that guy has come back to my channel since I told him that I'm not pro black and I didn't agree with his views. So for some reason, everything else is wrong unless you subscribe to that. Renz Borja says hello from Zambales. Borja, what's up, Renz from Zambales? I've been meaning to go to that beach, Renz. I have not gone there. My wife goes there all the time. That's like her favorite beach, probably because it's the closest one to us from Metro Manila. She goes, so she likes going to Zambales. A few times when she was mad, that will also be her little go-to place. Like, I'm going to the Zambales. I'm like, all right, cool. GJC says everyone has a problem these days. Yeah, I know it was just weird. Like I said, it had nothing. He was bringing up a topic that had nothing to do with what we were talking about, and then got mad that I told him I don't subscribe to militaristic black power beliefs. So he started going on a tirade against different religions and different types of foods. And I was like, what's wrong with halal food? I was like, halal is delicious. Like, I was like, it used to be a deli up the street. I used to order from almost once a week to get like either a sub or chicken or whatever. And it was halal. I was like, what's wrong with that? So he was weird. Plus, I was like, for him to be pro black, I said, you realize the three cultures you just referenced are big within the African diaspora. I don't think he grasped that fact. Skooma says halal is like kosher; it has no bearing on taste, just whether it's religiously valid. So it's how the food is prepared and served, and there's also a restriction on what you can eat. The biggest difference between halal and kosher, besides one being blessed by imam and one being blessed by rabbi, of course, is that halal offers there's a little bit more things you can eat under halal than you can eat in kosher. Like I think you can eat shellfish under halal, but shellfish is forbidden under kosher. All right, this guy is gone. Drop 705. Don't they have to pray before they kill the animal? I don't know the specific steps, but I know that they do bless the food, and it is a way that you have, there is a particular way that you have to that you that you have to harvest the animal in line with the religious traditions. So, so, so yeah. One is there's a blessing done over the uh, over the animals, and it's a particular way that you have to harvest the animals in line with the religious tradition. And I think they're both pretty similar with both kosher and halal. Like I said, the biggest difference I know between the two was that I think halal allows you to eat shellfish, and under the kosher diet, you're not allowed to eat shellfish. Christina says I love all food to be kosher halal. Um, I wouldn't. So I don't subscribe to. I eat kosher and halal food, but I wouldn't want to only eat kosher and halal because I like pork. My wife says she's not big on pork, but then she likes bacon and stuff. I was like, well, baby, that's pork though. She's like, well, yeah. I think she was like, except for that, she'll eat that or like maybe like pork adobo. If people don't know what adobo is, it's like a Filipino dish. I think it's originally stems from Spain though, but the Filipinos put their own spin on adobo, which is delicious. That was like one of the first foods she made me when I first visited the Philippines 7 years ago. I think if Renz is still in the chat, he can tell you guys what adobo is. And there's a bunch of other dishes in Philippines this big with pork, like lechon. I've had lechon at a family reunion. Well, my wife's family reunion. Christina says I can only eat cured pork too. If it's like a rib, it will make me sick. Oh, I love pork. Sorry to hear that, because I will tear some pork ribs up. Like I said, I just literally ate some leftover Memorial Day food and had like a grilled pork chop and grilled Italian sausage. So I just had a bunch of forbidden food that I just ate like an hour ago. Ever had Canadian bacon? Oh, of course. Yes, of course. Definitely. Um, haven't been recent. I think I had ate some last year. I think it was last year I had some. DGGDV says shellfish, so no shrimp, no lobster. I never did understand how some shellfish is because I have an allergic reaction to lobster, but I can eat shrimp, but they're both shellfish. Probably because there's a different concentration of whatever it is that you're allergic to. So at least you know your limitations. Christina says I think it's genetic. My immediate family reacts the same too. Oh, for the for as far as I'm concerned, I don't even eat shellfish. I find it disgusting. To me, I don't mean to gross anyone out, but to me, shellfish just looks like sea roaches. Like shrimp are literally just the roaches of the ocean. Especially as um, I've done wet labs where we've done vivisection on both crayfish and cockroaches, and internally they're pretty much the same thing. GJC says should visit Toronto, most multicultural food scene. Yeah, I do need to come to Canada. I was supposed to come up there a long time ago because I was dating a girl in Quebec. The funny thing is, she's Guyanese, like Latin America Guyana, not African Guyana. She was from, her family is from Guyana, but she lived in Quebec, and we kind of connected because I speak a little bit of French, and French and Quebecois is kind of similar. So we connected, and I know I wanted to come up there to visit, and I had a friend in a sorority. She used to date a guy that lived either in Toronto, I think, or Quebec, and she was going up there every weekend. I'm like, how far is that? She was telling me it was about 5 hours drive from Maryland. So I was like, well, if she can get to Toronto in 5 hours, I can get to Montreal. I said that probably shouldn't be too bad. School says, wait, what the F? You're telling me my favorite food is basically a water roach? I'm sure you. That's not the first time you've heard that shrimp are basically roaches. Like they're like literally just scavengers. Like they just look disgusting to me. I don't want something that basically is this. Crustaceans are basically crustaceans and the insectivore family are pretty much the same thing. Like, there's a very small difference between the crustacean family and then the insectivore family. Very little difference. And I find them both disgusting, which is why I think it's funny when people make fun of folks in other countries for um, eating insects or other types of arthropods, because both crustaceans and insects come under the arthropod um, um, family or whatever. And like I said, someone who eats shrimp to me is no better than someone in Thailand who eats like a those little cockroaches that you can buy at like one of the food markets, at one of the street food vendors. They also You can also get like scorpion there as well. I'm not eating any of that shit. For me, if it didn't if it wasn't sung in an old McDonald song, if they didn't say old McDonald had a such and such EIEIO, I'm not eating it. I never heard them say old McDonald had a cockroach EIEIO. I'm not eating it. And Skuma says, well, popcorn shrimp, not all shrimp. I'm talking about all of it. Tiger shrimp, popcorn shrimp, they're all the same. They're just different sizes, but they all the same. Or even the little ones they used to sell as sea monkeys back in the day. Those are a type of shrimp. Um, yeah, I'm not eating any of that stuff. Anything that has more than four legs is no. I'm not. If I'll eat fish like regular scaly fish, but that's it. I'm not eating um, shellfish. I'm not eating um, you know whatever it is that octopus and squid come under. I'm not eating any of that stuff. Because like in the Philippines and in Japan, they like eating stuff called takoyaki, which is like a type of grilled squid, and I'm not eating any of that stuff. J.A.C says Quebec is beautiful. The people are 50-50. uh, he goes on to say in Vietnam they put a beating snake heart in a shot glass and shoot it. There's something similar in Japan. In Japan, when my friend went, they do this thing with like a snake and this sort of alcohol. Like, I don't drink, so I told him that's definitely something I'm not trying. DGGDV says, to be fair, I have eaten a scorpion, but it was in a lollipop. Ooh, it's okay. I'm not doing it. Like, the only way I'll eat insects if it's like, if I was like in special forces or whatever, and that's the sort of stuff you had to do when you're on a mission or you're doing a patrol, like part of your training, like when you're doing your survivalist training, like you probably will have to eat insects. Like if you're doing special forces. Outside of Since I didn't join the Army Special Forces, I was not inclined to eat any insects, and I'm not going to do so. The only time I've ever eaten an insect was probably by accident when it maybe fell on my food at a picnic. That's probably it. No, I've not. No, so yeah, I've eaten calamari once, and the only reason is because I lost a bet to my friend. I had a Cambodian friend in college, and I forgot what we bet, but I told her if I lose, then I'll eat whatever she makes me eat. Not sexual, but uh, so we went to this all-you-can-eat uh, Asian buffet, and she made me eat a bunch of seafood that I've never eaten before, and I have not eaten since. She made me eat calamari. She made me eat oyster, clam, all that stuff. I think she made me eat calamari. I'm pretty sure. So I just got ate like really quick bites and haven't eaten since. I'm not eating something that look like it that like a monster from 20 Leagues Under the Sea. Like, it's not appetizing to look at something that looks like a sexual infection. Like, that's what calamari looks like. Calamari looks like something from a textbook of diseases that you catch sexually. I don't want to eat anything like that. Shellfish looks like something that you left the food out too long, and now you have stuff crawling and living on it. That's what shellfish looks like. Either way, I don't want to eat either one of those things. They look creepy, disgusting. They stink. They're not. They're not. I want to eat things that look cute. I want to eat a. I want to eat a chicken, a cow, a pork, a pig, a turkey. A sheep. Those sorts of things. Maybe even a goat, but I really don't eat goat either. But um, I don't want and sometimes fish, but I don't want to eat anything pretty much out of the water. That's that's like the biggest thing I don't like about living in East Asia is like they love seafood and I hate seafood. Rusty Shackleford says play some Haystack. I haven't heard of that game. Skooma says not to be racist, but I've noticed Asian restaurants can be quite cruel to the animals they kill and eat. Yeah, yes and no, but to to that's just because they don't have the same those countries don't have the same standards as we do. And it's not really that. It's just there's this what it often is the case is they're slaughtering the animals freshly. Most of us out it's not yeah, so let me be clear because I'm kind of stuttering. They're not cruel. What it is unlike most places, like when you go to the grocery store, where most Americans are like several degrees removed from actually seeing how food is harvested. But if you actually go and see how livestock is turned into food in these slaughterhouses, you would be you would find it repugnant. Which is actually in college the reason why I became vegan in the first place, because at the time I was just looking for healthier food options, and I started delving more and more online, like stuff you shouldn't do, and started seeing like live videos of people of these animal slaughterhouses, and those animals are treated pretty cruelly, and also the way the food is prepared, the meat hasn't always been the cleanest, and that turned me off of meat so much that, like I said, I became vegan for a year. the, the only difference with the Asian stores is sometimes they are harvesting the animal right there in the restaurant, as opposed to buying it from a supermarket and then cooking it. Lots of times they have live animals that they will harvest right there in the restaurant for you to eat fresh. But I don't think it's because they're less cruel. Because like I said, if you've seen a typical American slaughterhouse, they're quite cruel. There was actually a whole movie about that. I think it was called Fast Food Nation or something like that. Trust me, like American slaughterhouses are no less cruel. Um, J.A.C says I grew up a bland white kid in Canada, but married Asian. Oh, like me. uh, well, not white, but married Asian, right? Traveled and now and um, live almost everywhere. Been missing out my whole life, my whole love. SDBYGB says, but yeah, hamburgers is tasty. Oh, I'm not denying it. Like I said, I'm an avid meat eater. What I was just saying was that I don't think that um, your typical mom and pop Asian restaurant isn't more cruel than the American meat industry. The only difference is you're seeing the animal get harvested sometimes in a restaurant, whereas most places, like, they buy their food from the meat industry, which sends them their food. Like most fast food and restaurants in America, like they have contracts with these with both the poultry industry and the meat industry, because they're pretty much a monopoly in the U.S. The meat industry and the poultry industry. Like there's like a few companies that own pretty much like 70 to 90% of all the farms in America, or have like contracts with the farm, most of these farms that raise livestock. So pretty much all the restaurants and fast food places get their meat from the same places, and so it's already pre-slaughtered for them, so they don't have to do that. Where some of these mom and pop Asian stores, they are raising their own chicken or whatever there in the store, and will slaughter it there, or harvest it, as we like to say. Oh, he said, sorry about, I love almost every food. Okay. Yeah, I'm just not that adventurous when it comes to food. Like, I'll try food from any culture, but it has to be animals that I'm comfortable eating. Like, I'm not going to try a new animal that I haven't tried yet. The newest animal that I've tried within the last so and so years, I don't know, has been pheasant. Um, Try pheasant, bison. Um, I think that's it. But yeah, I'm not too adventurous when it comes to trying different types of animals. I'll try different types of plants, like I'll try different types of vegetables, and I'll try different types of ingredients for making chicken or beef or pork. But I'm not trying a new animal, which is why I'm leery of where I buy street food, because I'm not going to trust street food from just any place. But that's not to steer people away from trying different types of Asian food. I think it's definitely, if someone is of the adventurous sort, I definitely think you should go out and try some of these exotic foods if you're adventurous. Like I said, we got 3 more days of Asian, American Pacific Islander Heritage Month. So yeah, go on out and maybe try some new food. Go to H Mart, buy something just to show your support. Like, you know, you can just go to like an Asian owned store and buy something just to show your support. Like there's like anime stores for people who are geeks like me, um, or just little mom and pop stores. Um, like say like if there's a Chinatown near where you live, like if you live somewhere like L.A., San Francisco, Seattle, Chicago, maybe Detroit. I'm not sure about Detroit. None in Baltimore, D.C. There used to be a Chinatown in D.C. It's still there in name, but only in name, because that whole area has been kind of cleared out. Most of the Chinese people have moved on to the suburbs. But there's a Vietnamese community there in North Virginia, and a Korean one as well. So plenty of opportunities. Or like I said, the laziest way is just to go onto your food app, whichever one you use, Uber Eats or Grubhub or DoorDash. Look up Asian food, and you'll get a whole listing of different stuff you can try. Some people might just want to try with, doing boba. No inspiration is gone. STBY says, so like I'm genuinely am not all that empathetic to the animals we consume. They do the same if they were in our situation. Yes and no. We have a so it's not so much about the animals, it's about how people feel about how we treat the animals, which is the 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 humanistic consideration. And I think it says more about people who would delight in the misery of an animal more than the misery of the animal itself. Like, of course, the misery of the animal would be appalling to a lot of people, but it also would be appalling to see someone delighting in the misery of another animal. Which is concerning a lot of folks. That used to be a clue that someone might be have psychopathic tendencies if they delight in mistreatment of animals. Usually, like we like it's been a red flag if you see kids who like to torture animals and stuff like that. And then, like I said, with these $1 billion meat and poultry industries, slaughter houses, out in the flyover states. Some of them get away with doing some horrendous stuff. Like there is a humane way to prepare livestock to become meat products. There is a more humane way to do it. So I think that's the concern. GJC says, as a veteran and overall intelligent person, another time I love to hear your opinions on topics like politics or these manly influencers like Andrew Tate, etc. Yeah, that can be a topic that we broach. Like I said, I've talked about military stuff. I'm probably gonna do a a stream just on politics since people always pop in and talk politics. The problem is, whenever I do those things, the very people who were interested in them rarely show up. So then I get a bunch of people who aren't even interested in that topic show up for the topic when they were the one when it was the other folks who suggested them in the first place. But yeah, I'm definitely open to having a live stream talking about politics. I'm not um, scared to go into very contentious stuff. Like we had a whole thing about religion twice. Like we did one Sunday, and then we did one last week when I was actually in you know in favor of atheism. So definitely can talk about those topics. Game of Furby says, "Hi, my brother. Uh, I was on your stream last night claiming." Oh, he says, "Hi, my brother was on your stream last night claiming he kidnapped his son and possibly said something offensive to you as he has no filter. Apologize for his behavior." There's no problem. He got banned from the stream. I mean, from he got banned from the channel. So I don't really take it and seriously. STBY says, "Oh yeah, anyone that enjoys hurting anything is objectively evil, but the mistreatment isn't always intentional, malicious." Yeah, so like I said, the the difference between cause causing intentional pain for your own delight as opposed to causing, say, unintentional pain because you're merely harvesting the animal to for food is completely different, right? GJC says there's no atheists in foxholes. Well, I beg to differ. I was an atheist and I had to dig my own foxholes in the army. So yes, there are. There are plenty of atheists in the army. The thing, what people don't understand about atheism, people don't subscribe to it for on emotional grounds. We do it on rational grounds. So knowing I'm coming, knowing that an atheist is coming to the end of his life, I have not known anyone to change their mind upon their deathbed. For instance, Galileo, who was, uh, exiled and excommunicated from the Catholic Church, which is sad because the Pope was actually one of his friends, but because he embarrassed the Pope, he got excommunicated and was forced to recant his views on science. But on his deathbed, he's said to have said in Latin, "Eper, eper se muove," which is, "and yet it moves," which meant even though they made him recant his scientific beliefs, he still said, "and yet it moves," meaning that the planets still revolve around the sun. They are atheists in foxholes. I was one of them. Game of Furby says he has schizophrenia. Yeah, I pretty much thought so. I actually said that as well, and someone tried to challenge me on that, and I said, "Well, I actually have a background in psychology, so I know someone who has schizotypal tendencies when I see them, because I've taken psychopathology." And so I banned both your brother and I banned the person who was claiming that I didn't know what I was talking about, that I was making an armchair diagnosis. Eric the Guapo says, "Hello, what's up, my brother?" He said, "I've been around a lot of death and I've seen fear in their eyes before they went." Yeah, regardless of your metaphysical beliefs, you're still gonna have fear in the face of death. That doesn't change. Um, those psychological feel those the psychology of of fear and of death, those not going to change regardless of whatever your metaphysical or epistemic beliefs are. What but what I'm saying is there's no one that I've known, and I'm sure there has been some. I'm just saying there's none like that I've known like on a wide statistical basis that have recanted their atheist beliefs once they got into a combat zone. Like I'm pretty sure if you know if you're an infantry grunt or a special operator, or you're just someone who was assigned into a hazardous zone, that if you were already a non-religious person, you were probably going to remain that way unless you had some sort of spiritual epiphany. And I just don't think that bullets and mortars sometimes will somehow give you a spiritual epiphany. I appreciate it, J.A.C. But yeah, so look that up. Galileo Galilei. He's also the father of modern science. So he's one of my intellectual heroes. I have one of his I have a few of his books that he's written in English, of course, that we had to read in my class on Galileo and Descartes' overthrow of Aristotelianism, which was the dominant thought amongst medieval scholars at the time, was Aristotelian philosophy. Um, Even though it was like 1,000 years after Aristotle's death, that they were still holding on to these beliefs. But he along with Rene Descartes and Francis Bacon and um, Isaac Newton and Leibniz all brought on what we think of today as science, right? And he's considered the father of science. And on his deathbed, he recanted his recant. They forced him, to, like I said, to say that according to Aristotelian thought, that the you know the the moon and the sun and the stars all revolve around the earth. That the earth was the center of the universe, even though Nicholas Copernicus had already disproved that long time ago that that wasn't true. And so on his deathbed, he was like, no, and yet it moves. So just my little nerdy thing. Sorry. Eric DeGuavo says that just for clarity, I worked in EMS over a decade. So I almost did EMS. I was going to join. There's combat medics in the army. There was a subtype. Now all of them are EMS certified, but back then um, there was some combat medics who weren't EMS certified and others that were, and I had selected that. That's why I had switched to working at being at Walter Reed Army when I was in the reserves. But what happened was I got called back to my former unit when they got when they got called up for deployment. So I never got to train under my secondary MOS. But yeah, I had signed up to be a EMS combat medic, so I never got to try it out. And the only reason I didn't pick that as my primary MOS was that my father was a combat medic during Vietnam War, and he told me don't do that because I won't be able to use it and have time to go to college, which was completely false. Because I met a friend in one of my psychology labs that wasn't EMT. Mercanoid Peanut Butter's back. He said, hi, I didn't ask this question yesterday because it was Memorial Day. Um, he said, Eric Guap said, I worked with quite a few combat medics. Yeah. Like I said, now I think they wiped out that whole MOS series. Because it was like, I think like 5 different types of combat medics in the Army. And when they did that whole MOS reclassification in 2006, now it's just one type. So they streamlined it, just like they streamlined my former MOS. It was 2 separate jobs. They made one. Mercanoid Peanut Butter says, I'm personally not a fan of the government or military for many reasons. Don't get me wrong. I still have respect for veterans. My grandfather was in Vietnam, but after your service, do you still wait? I'll wait till you finish that. Oh, and for guys, everyone just coming in again, the topic was Asian American, Native Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Heritage Month because we have 3 days left in the month, and May was Asian American Heritage Month. So I was just making up the topic as far as asking people have they done anything to celebrate, or if they haven't, I was giving suggestions of how people could celebrate, whether like buying some Asian food, befriending someone within the Asian community, or maybe even dating them. Going out to a Asian owned um, business, and maybe giving them some financial support, like buying something from them, like whether it's buying some bubble tea or um, anything like that, or even taking up some Asian martial arts. Like I would say most traditional Asian martial arts schools will give you a free introductory class. Sometimes they give you a free introductory week, so be a great way to get immersed in that. Or there are some Asian cultural centers and museums, depending on where you live. Um, a friend of the channel, Rhesus, said that there's a Japan cultural center in Chicago that her family supports. So that's one place. And I know there's a Smithsonian Asian museum here, or close by me in DC. And I was saying it's pretty easy to find Asian food. And I'm not just talking about Chinese takeout. We're talking about like food outside of the Asian takeout you normally eat. So, or it can still be Chinese food, but maybe it can be from a specific region of China that you may have not eaten food from before, like Szechuan, Hunan, Cantonese, Hokkien, Fujian, Tibetan, um, Manchurian, all that sort of stuff, right? Or there's Chinese food in the diaspora, like Chinese Indonesian food, or Chinese Filipino food, all that sort of stuff. But then there's many other places besides Chinese, right? Like Indonesian, Malaysian, Cambodian, Vietnamese, Lao, Thai. I think I already mentioned that. Brunei, as well as not just East Asian but South Asian as well. So um, Indian, Pakistani, even Afghani food, Persian food, all that stuff, and then Pacific Islander foods as well, if you can find that. I didn't see the second half of your comment, Mercanoid Peanut Butter. I don't know if I'm missing the comments, or I just can't. I don't know if I can't see the comment, or you were still writing. And yeah, I understand that some people have misgivings about the military and government. Don't think that just because I am a veteran that I support everything the government does. Far from it. I'm quite politically apathetic, to be honest. The only reason I'm even entering into electoral politics this coming November is because I have an axe to grind against um, some political leaders and some of their followers, which I'll talk about in another stream. I don't want to get into it too heavily here. Um, but yeah, I can't see if someone left it. If you guys are leaving comments, I'm not seeing them. It might take me a second. If I don't see them, I'm going to assume that the 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 connection messed up because I didn't see it reconnect. So usually it'll say reconnecting, back to the live, but I haven't seen that glitch yet. So I will assume that it didn't glitch, but that maybe I'm just not seeing comments. Let me contact the wife. Yeah, I still don't see the comments, guys. I'm sorry. I might have to end this, but I'm contacting wifey. Oh, now they just reconnected, guys. So sorry. There, that's what was happening. I think it just lost connection and then it reconnected. So anything you just said, I didn't see it. Sorry, this happens with the best of channels. Um, but if you already asked the Mercanoid, can you repost it, guys? I didn't see anything that you posted within the last 2 minutes. So if you don't mind, if you posted something within the last 3 minutes, can you repost it? That'll be a big help to me. Look like I can't see anything. Um, so I'm just gonna wait for the wife to respond, see if she can pull up the comments that you guys left, and then I'll answer those, and then I'm gonna go because I'm not gonna keep you on the hook here with it being like a one-way connection with me seeing the screen but not being able to respond to anything because I can't see comments, and then you guys leaving comments but I can't see them, so it's like a one-way mirror here. And if she's too busy to respond, um, she's currently at her bank, then we'll just have to redo this later. What I'll do is I'll look through the comments after it's uploaded and see if it was and see if there was any questions that I missed, and from there I'll just answer it possibly in the comment section. But I'm gonna give this like 2 minutes, see if she responds. If not, I know she's busy responding to her clients, and so I'll have to go. But again, be on the lookout. The wife is still going to do a special video for us. She didn't do it last week because there was, well, one, she was kind of shy to do it at first, but she was going to do it. But there was a typhoon last weekend, so she didn't get to film the congratulatory video for us from hitting 1,000 subs. So she's going to do it this week. Also, I'm going to do a live stream where I show the contents of my bug out bag, which I've been talking about for a year now. Well, not a year, but it seems like it's been a year. and we can have a political discussion. I don't know if I'm going to do that this week though. Maybe we can do it on a Sunday. But we can have the political debate, right? And there, what was the other suggestion? Let me look back here. Um, yeah, so basically, yeah, so they will have the political debate as people have requested. I'm going to do a stream talking about my bug out bag and showing you everything I have in it so far. Because it's always a bug out bag is always a work in progress. It should never just be static. You just fill it up, then leave it, and then never use it again. That's not a wise way to have a bug out bag. Um, then, like I said, the wife is going to make a video, a congratulatory video for me hitting my 1,000 subs last week, sort of as like a both as a congratulations to me and also as a thing to my fans, you know. um, and like I said, that should be it. Then I guess we could talk about some other things, like some people's misgivings about the military or government, stuff like that. Like just because I'm a veteran and I love the army doesn't mean that I support everything the military does nor the government. Like I say, I'm quite politically apathetic despite you know being celebratory of Memorial Day and all that sort of stuff. I have a lot of misgivings, just as you guys do. But I respect the fact that Mercanoid Peanut Butter didn't bring it up yesterday. Like he was respectful and you know, didn't do that on that day because that day was supposed to be just honoring our fallen heroes, people who gave the ultimate sacrifice and may not even done it with the intention of being a hero or doing it for the country. They might have been just doing it to save a fellow brother in arms, which is often the case. Like you're not thinking of the country or your duty or anything like that. You're basically just looking out for your fellow brother in arms, which is what makes you a hero, even if you don't realize it. So with that being said, I'm gonna go because Mrs. Contrarian wasn't able to respond, and I'm not going to keep this going if I can't see the comments, guys. I do apologize, but this is a pretty common thing when you're dealing with live streaming, unfortunately. So with that, I'm going to go. If there are any questions or comments that I missed within the last 5-10 minutes, guys, you can repost it in the comment section when I upload this video. Or like I said, I'll probably look through the last few minutes of this after it's uploaded to see what I missed. Hopefully I'll be able to still see those comments unless on my end it just wasn't recorded. But if the comments were recorded on my end, I should be able to see it once this is uploaded. Okay? But again, I appreciate it, guys. If you haven't already, we got 3 days left of May, I believe, right? Today is the 29th. No, I'm sorry, 2 days. It's now Wednesday morning, Wednesday night, whatever you want to call midnight. But basically, all of the rest of Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, you can do something in celebration of Asian American, Native Hawaiian, Pacific Islander Heritage Month. Go try a new Asian food. That can be South Asian food, East Asian food, Middle Eastern food, Pacific Islander food, Hawaiian food, Central Asian food, which can fall in the realm of both European and Asian food. Or you can go support your mom and pop Asian store, whether it's like a restaurant or a boutique or a grocery or maybe just a cafe. Try some like I think most young people have tried a boba, but maybe some of your older folks you haven't tried boba. Go try a boba. Um, or you guys can go get a few martial arts lessons, Asian martial art, not Western boxing, not MMA, East Asian martial art. Like a lot of traditional schools give introductory classes to prospective students. So you can go to like a wushu class or a karate class or a judo class, um, all those sorts of places. And they'll probably do give you like 1 or 2 free lessons. Sometimes they might give you a free week of lessons. Whatever, go ahead and try that out. So, or befriend someone and you know befriend maybe some Asians that you know within your community, or consider dating them. Or you can just go on YouTube and start looking up Asian history. There are some sites that are better than others. Any sort of academic any sort of academic channel on YouTube is going to be better than some of these other smaller channels that put out a lot of misinformation on different cultures. But you can do that. You can go on YouTube and maybe find some information on a new Asian culture. And like I said, that doesn't just mean East Asian. That can include South Asian, Middle Eastern, the Central Asian countries, which usually fall under the former Soviet bloc, or maybe Pacific Islander stuff. All of that. So anyway, uh, let me get off my soapbox and go do something constructive. I appreciate I appreciate it though, guys. Thank you.